Hey guys, it's Ornlu, and lo and behold, we have another PUP balance patch, bug fix patch incoming for August of 2023. And it's not the biggest patch in the world, it's definitely smaller than June and April. I think a lot of people are in the mindset right now that the game just needs more stability and bug fixes rather than like big balance changes, but there are balance changes. And I will be doing a video where I go through and test some of those, and in my ideal world, that will be on Monday, so stay tuned for that. But we'll just go through the notes here. They were nice enough to actually give us patch notes again, so I don't have to go through and scour the game for changes. First, we have some stability and performance fixes. I glanced through this and there wasn't anything that was catching my eye too much. I will, of course, post the link to this in the description if you want to read all of these more closely yourself. Nothing too crazy here. When multiple buildings selected can be clicked research, the UI is updated accordingly. So yeah, just some UI changes. Oh wait, returning to the main menu after playing no longer causes the load game default tab to be replays. That's something that was a little annoying. Someone who casts a lot of recorded games, so it's just end up having to go through to replays every time. Yeah, they had some hotkey changes. Notably, introduce missing select all hotkeys for lumber camps, mills, and mining camps. So if that's something that you really wanted as part of your hotkey setup, then that is something you can do. Fixed an issue where shift plus left click was behaving like shift right click. So if that is something that you were running into, that might have been very annoying. Game commands, okay, that is nothing that exciting. Okay, so this is an interesting change. The random civilization option, it now temporarily excludes the last 3 used civilizations from the randomization pool, creating a more diverse experience for the player. So you're not going to get the same civ twice in a row, which is actually what happened to me. My last 2 ranked games, it was Arena, and I preferred Cumans, but I prefer Cumans, but I always like have the random civ thing checked. Or I'll pick a civ and then, prefer random. And I got Cumans and I played, my Cuman game. And then the very next game, it was random civs and I got Cumans. So I got Cumans twice in a row. So now that won't happen anymore. Xbox changes, not something I pay all that much attention to. Gameplay changes. Predator animal, okay, that's ROR stuff. Fix an issue where villagers come in idle when depleting their own farms. Okay, so ignoring allied farms could be maybe be a thing of something like Lombardia, where you have farms right next to each other. Fix an issue in some cases where villagers are not ungarrisoned properly from town centers. That does happen occasionally. Not much of an issue there. And those are more ROR issues. Didn't have units garrisoned. Okay, that might be nice. Fix an issue where units stop a moment before reaching the target. This could be huge, because if any of you have ever tried to micro melee units, you will run into this situation where they're chasing down the units and then they'll stop. And then they won't attack as quickly as they need to. This is a really annoying bug, and I don't know if this is specifically fixing that issue, but if it is, that's a big one. I don't know if that falls under the realm of pathfinding, but yeah, this would be a big one if it works in the way that I hope it works. Campaign changes. Captured buildings are no longer destroyed when upgrading masonry. I haven't run into that one, but I imagined it was really funny. Those seemed like ROR changes. All right, here we go. Here is the juicy stuff. Of course, it's going to be the balance changes. Siege and Armored Elephants cost reduced from 130 food 95 gold to 120 food 95 gold, so a little bit cheaper on the food cost, 10 less. They've had a lot of changes in every patch to the Armored Elephants. It's like they were nerfing them and now they're buffing them. Maybe they thought they over nerfed them. It's a little weird to me, but okay. I mean, Armored Elephants are good. They're just tankier than the regular rams. They move faster with husbandry. Yeah, it's fine. I don't think it was the highest priority thing in the world for me, but sure. Heavy Cav Archer base accuracy increased from 50% to 80%. This is, I think, a very interesting one, because Cav Archers have really bad base accuracy. It's 50%. It used to be for 50% regular and elite. Now it's 80% for elite. But Thumbring was such a critical upgrade for Cav Archers, and it still is. The accuracy increase is super important. But it used to be that heavy Cav Archers were completely unusable in late game without Thumbring, because the 50% accuracy was just dreadful. But now there are civs like maybe a Khmer who can make Cav Archers work, because Khmer have fully upgraded Cav Archers minus Thumb Ring. Maybe this buff to the Cav Archer itself could be enough to make that sort of play a bit more viable in certain situations. We'll have to see how much this changes, because obviously in the late game, if you're a civ that has Cav Archers with Thumb Ring, you're going to have that upgrade researched already, because it's still a very important upgrade. But it does increase the those corner case uses where maybe you don't have Thumb Ring in the late game available to your civ. All right, Siege Onager bonus attack versus Heavy Siege, Houselight Wagon, and Ballista Elephants. So what is formerly the Houselight Wagon armor class, they're now just calling the Heavy Siege armor class. Okay, sure. Has been reduced from 75 to 50. This is quite important because Houselight Wagons and Ballista Elephants just got countered too hard in the late game by Siege Onagers. It was just too good, man. Now it's at least going to be a little bit less. It's still going to hard counter the units, guys, don't you worry. But Ballista Elephants had like this one moment where they were usable, and then they had the Houselight Wagon armor class introduced to them, and then they became bad again. Now I think they should hopefully be in an ultimately more balanced state. But villagers will also gain 6 bonus damage versus them. Still, don't use villagers versus Ballista Elephants and Houselight Wagons if you can help it, but I mean, I guess in that sort of situation, sure, why not? I guess we can check later if other units have gained this armor class, but I don't think that's the case. Anyway, Civ-specific balance changes. The Houselight Wagon is getting a little bit of a rework, guys. Similar to the Organ Gun, their HP is being reduced by 20, so from 200 and 250 to 180 and 230. Attack reduced from 17 regular 20 elite to 11 regular and 13 elite, but the secondary projectile attack increased from 2 to 4, 6. I guess regular is 2 to 4, and then now it's 6 with the elite. +3 versus buildings and +3 versus rams. It's still going to be pretty bad versus high pierce armor units, because if you think about like a Hussar in the late game, it has 6 pierce armor, so you're really only dealing 1 damage with the projectiles just like you used to, and now you have the lower base attack as well. But if you are facing units that don't have any native pierce armor, or maybe only 1, then suddenly the Houselight Wagon attack should overall maybe be a little bit stronger. But yeah, that base attack reduce is certainly going to be interesting, and I'll need to do plenty of testing here. But yeah, they're increasing the number of secondary projectiles, so from 3 to 5, so you're getting that secondary damage a little bit more, hence why they decreased the base damage. And now this is a big one, guys. Now fires all projectiles at the same time. It used to be you'd fire the main projectile, and then you'd fire the secondary projectiles. The secondary projectiles wouldn't do really anything, so what you'd want to do is, like, you just want to not use them all together so you could micro a bit better. Now, this makes way more sense. They just they all fire at the same time. Should be much easier to control. Oh boy, guys. Franks. The nerf is upon us. Castle Age Civilization... Castle discount for the Civilization changed from 25% to 15 to 25% in Castle Age and Imperial Age. The Frank nerf is upon us. We'll see if this one sticks. Now, I know I'm in the minority when I say that I think Franks are in a perfectly fine spot. I know they do terrorize the lower levels. Is this change okay? I think it's fine. I think it does directly address something that is a real big issue for a lot of players, which is the castle drop for Franks in the Castle Age. Do I like it, though? Personally, I'd rather keep the Frank bonus that has existed for as long as Franks have, since 99, and then remove the berry bonus, which was only introduced in the Forgotten. And I think that would also better create the dichotomy between Franks and Burgundians, where Franks have the more military focus and Burgundians have the more economy and technology focus. That's how I would approach things based on, like my personal design philosophy. But okay, sure. Yeah, it'll do what it's supposed to do. Franks are definitely going to take a hit at higher levels, though, because this was and is still a powerful bonus in the mid to late game, but now you're just a lot weaker in the mid game. You have the same discount as Inca, so it's like, 553 stone, I think, for a castle instead of 488. So you're paying like 70 more stone per castle in Castle Age. In Imperial Age, it's exactly the same. Romans, Centurion HP decreased from 120 to 110. This is just the regular Centurion. Elite Centurions have 155 HP, so 175 with Bloodlines. So you still have 10 more HP than a Knight. Centurions and Castellage are absolutely crazy, so I think this change is totally fine. Doesn't affect them at all in the late game where you see them the most, but still, it's going to make them a little bit less oppressive in the mid game. Sicilians. So Sergeant cost reduced from 60 food, 35 gold to 50 food, 35 gold. So you don't quite get supplies, but you at least get 10 food less. I think this is a good change. I think that Sergeants in general are too expensive for what you're getting out of it. I don't know how this will impact them in the late game. Again, we'll have to see some testing to see if Sergeants are going to be a bit more cost efficient, especially in late game compared to Champions, because Champions are so much cheaper. They're 45 food with supplies and 25 gold. So Champions are still cheaper, but let's see if the Sergeants are going to be performing better. Again, we'll have to do some testing on that. But that's actually it for the balance changes. Not that many of them. I do think most of them are good. I'll be interested to see how the Houselight Wagon changes come in. I don't love the Franks change, but, you know, crucify me in the comments for saying that Franks are fine. I can take it. Anyway, there are some Return to Rome changes. I'm honestly not all that interested in these, but they are here if you are interested in those. Some AI changes. Pathfinding. This is for AI, though. Fix an issue to prevent units from walking over solid objects in some circumstances. Fix an issue where units do not respond to commands in some cases. I don't know if this is for all units or if it's just AI-controlled units. My hope is that it's all units, but I don't think that's the case. Otherwise, they'd put it under, like, bug fixes or something. Anyway, there are some modding changes, so for those of you guys who are really interested in that, you can go ahead and take a look at those. Scenario editor changes as well. And that is going to be it, guys. So definitely a smaller patch this time around, but some big changes, especially when it comes to the Houselight Wagon and to Franks. So let me know what you guys think of these changes in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.